Mr Speaker, beyond Labor's energy crisis, we're also facing a Labor-created housing crisis. The great Australian aspiration of home ownership has become out of reach for so many. Now, it's wonderful that parents, in some circumstances with financial means, can help their kids into a home. But I will never accept a situation where the only people who can afford to buy a home in our country are those with the support of their parents. The Coalition has already committed, and we tonight recommit, to allowing Australians to access up to $50,000 of their super to buy their first home, and extended this policy to separated women to help restart their lives. The money initially withdrawn from super will need to be returned when the house is sold to support retirement, and in most cases it will be with an uplift that will see retirement even more secure. But there's more that we need to do. For almost 20 years I've chaired my local Salvation Army Red Shield appeal. 2 weeks ago at our annual fundraising breakfast, I heard a heartbreaking account of a man in his 70s having to live in his car. It is such a soul-destroying experience. It's sad, but it is not an uncommon story, and it's one that I've heard at Food Bank and at many places around our great country. Australians are struggling to find homes to rent and buy, and it's not always due to a lack of money. Amidst this housing crisis, Labor is bringing in 1.67 million migrants over 5 years, more than the population of Adelaide, in 5 years. We celebrate the contributions of migrants over many decades. We're a great country because of what they've helped to build, and the great Australian achievement of modern Australia is something that we celebrate every day. But by getting the migration policy settings right, the Coalition can free up more houses for Australians. Now, the Prime Minister has promised to build 1.2 million homes by 2029, but on the government's current trajectory, they will fall short by 400,000 homes, or 33%. The Prime Minister is making the housing crisis much, much worse, and Australians need homes now. We're at an 11-year low of building approvals. To help Australians into homes, we need to make sure that we prioritise them for existing homes, the homes that have already been built. The other impact Australians are feeling from the Albanese government's poor management of the migration program is from congestion on our roads and pressure on our existing services, which are stretched, like trying to get in to see a GP. Tonight I announce several measures a Coalition government will implement to meet our housing crisis head-on by alleviating pressure on the housing market. We believe that by rebalancing the migration program and taking decisive action on the housing crisis, the Coalition can free up almost 40,000 additional homes in the first year and well over 100,000 homes in the first 5 years. First, we will implement a 2-year ban on foreign investors and temporary residents purchasing existing homes in Australia. Secondly, we will reduce the permanent migration program by 25% from 185,000 to 140,000 for the first 2 years in recognition of the urgency of the crisis. The program will then increase to 150,000 in Year 3 and 160,000 in Year 4. We will ensure there are enough skilled and temporary skilled visas for those with building and construction skills to support our local tradies to build the homes and the units that we need across the country. Similarly, we will return the refugee and humanitarian program planning to 13,750, closer to the longer-term average. The humanitarian program will remain one of the most generous in the world on a per capita basis. Third, we will reduce excessive numbers of foreign students studying at metropolitan universities to relieve stress on rental markets in our major cities. We will work with universities to put in place a cap on foreign students, and we will enhance the integrity of the student visa program by introducing a tiered approach to increasing the student visa application fee and applying it to foreign students who change providers. Now, the usual CEOs and some of the big businesses may not like this approach, but my priority is to restoring the great Australian home ownership dream.